जीरो व्यूवर्स क्यों दिखा रहा है मुझे? Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this special session on blockchain technologies and why it's the hottest technology right now across the tech industry. Quick introduction, guys. I'm Arjun. I'm the program head for the IIIT-Banglore blockchain program, and we keep on having these weekly, fortnightly sessions with me and sometimes with industry experts as well to help you understand better what is the industry all about, what sort of opportunities are coming out, what do you need to do in order to succeed in this, and if possible, if you are looking for a formal learning route through which to crack those top jobs and grow your careers, then we are happy to take you through the details of our program as well. So the format, a quick revision for all those who haven't joined in before. You are free to ask any question you want in the comment box. We have our admissions team there and they will relay on your queries to me and I'll be happy to take them live in front. Please do not be hesitant asking questions. There would be a lot of other viewers watching who might be harboring similar doubts. So that's the whole purpose. This promises to be a quick, free-flowing session with a little bit of banter, some humor, a lot of tech gyan, and also a lot of numbers to help you realize what sort of potential does blockchain technology hold, not just for the industry, but also for your careers. So guys, firstly, just to understand what is the scope of blockchain technology for any one of us, it has got immense repercussions. Now, what does that mean? Essentially, this is no longer a fad. I understand a lot of you would be reading the news. Oh no, Arjun, you know what? Cryptocurrency is falling all over. Bitcoin was $10,000 last year. Now, 1 year down the line, it's hardly $4,000. That does not mean, guys, cryptocurrencies was less than 5% of actual blockchain development in the world. Cryptocurrencies caught on because it started challenging the regular currencies, the regular financial system of the world, which is why people took a liking to it. But gradually people are sensibilizing. The whole industry is also getting accustomed to the same. And slowly but surely, yes, cryptocurrencies are a thing here to stay. Obviously not at the crazy valuation that we had pegged them at earlier, but they are a source of barter, a source of economy for the times to come. But coming to the more important parts, blockchain as such is seeing immense roots happening in the business and financial sectors. A lot of US banks as well as Indian banks, namely State Bank of India, are investing crores and hundreds of crores in building blockchain solutions. So the first question that arises in anyone's mind is that why is anybody even thinking of spending on something like blockchain, right? The whole reason is, guys, the concept on which blockchain is based is just primarily privacy, trust, and shared responsibilities. Now, what does that mean? A quick example would be, let's say if there are just two people who know that you have 1 lakh rupees in your bank account, and one of them turns out to be unscrupulous or turns out to be dishonest in any way. Next thing you know, they debit 50,000 from your account and keep it for themselves. And then they say, oh, you know what? You only had 50,000 rupees in your account from the beginning. Now, sadly, because only you and the other party knew of the truth, it is just your word against theirs, which is essentially brings us to the whole concept of, how you can help understand why BFSI sector is immediately slurping the whole concept of blockchain in their own industry. Coming to what is the money savings that they can expect, I'm just talking about US banks. A study done on US banks told them that using blockchain solutions, they can save $8 to $12 billion in revenue. And how is that? That is primarily, first of all, cutting billions of dollars, which happen due to wrong transactions. A lot of time, transactions happen in phishing, incorrect transactions, which the bank has no option but to refund the customer. But however, ideally, if bank had it their way, they would have designed a secure system which wouldn't have allowed such a transaction to happen. Coming to the overall global market of blockchain, and this I'm talking about all the countries, but it's important for India as well, because guys, India is the home of the biggest IT service sector in the world, which is why almost 70-80% of IT demand happening in the world is processed through India itself. That is the reason the big wigs like Wipro, TCS, Infosys came into being and are doing well. That's the reason they are looking for top quality blockchain talent, which they are employing in their specialized digital divisions. So almost the global market value of just blockchain industry would be in excess of $20 billion. Just to give you a reference, that is actually more than Mukesh Ambani's total value at present. So that is the sheer prospect that blockchain holds. This is not even counting the impact blockchain will have, let's say, on the logistics industry or on the healthcare industry. This is just primarily blockchain solution providers market size. Coming to the way the industry is viewing it, gone are those days when it was only a trend or a fashion or people would just put blockchain everywhere in their profile. There has been a 60x jump in number of people looking to do blockchain courses, blockchain certification within the last year itself. So even though it started off on a small base because hardly anyone was looking for blockchain related stuff, but today, and this research is not by IIIT-Banglore and UpGrad, but this was actually through a upskilling website called Upwork. They said that they saw a 6,000% increase in number of people adding blockchain as their specialization and skill. Similarly, the job market has increased by 3x as per Indeed.com on a global level, which means that there are massive amount of jobs at that big scale being created, which need special blockchain talent. And end of the day, guys, because blockchain is such a nuanced application in terms of development, you would need to know the basics of development, the core principles of blockchain well in order to grow. So I take my first breather here and take forward your questions. We have Sahil asking, he's into BI testing with good knowledge in SQL. Can I jump into blockchain? How much time will it take for me to learn for me without much prior experience of programming? So Sahil, thank you so much for asking that question because it immediately feeds into what I was about to say next. So see, I would like to give you an example of premier technical institutes like your IITs, IIITs and also having myself been through the IIT Delhi whole experience. What we felt was that it wasn't end of the day what we were learning as a topic, but the approach and the problem solving and the thinking which helped, create better people for the tech industry, a better talent pool and everything. Here, same holds true for a blockchain industry professional, that because, as I said, the use case is not very set. Listen, you just have to do these steps in a blockchain and you have a great blockchain ecosystem, which is why you need people who are flexible with their problem solving approach. You would have heard a lot of puzzles and riddles being asked in the interviews. The whole idea of them is just to know whether the person has a good programming principles, whether the person has a good programming approach as well. So coming to the point that yes, you have some prior experience with SQL, which is very frankly a non-developer's dream because it is not very syntax heavy. It is very analytical and everything. I would actually recommend you to start coding a bit by bit because end of the day, blockchain is nothing but an extension of regular coding over specific portals and specific ecosystems and specific languages. That is the reason I would actually say that you first try and learn programming, which we actually do address through one of our programs, which is spanned over 11 months. However, I won't recommend you, let's say, our 6-month offering, which is essentially just focused purely on blockchain, because we assume there that the student comes with a good programming experience or has a good problem solving capability that they immediately after learning of the blockchain tools can start creating something, what should I say, something worthy or something practical as well. So my take there would be, considering you have got BI experience, which shows in your SQL expertise, I would say try and learn coding, try and learn programming, and then a blockchain switch would be much more adjacent rather than, trying to straight away jump into the world of blockchain. And luckily for you, we do address that. If you want more details, I would actually encourage you to get in touch with the admissions team. We have Pratyush Kumar asking, why Java instead of Python? So Pratyush, great question. The whole reason why we fixated on Java instead of Python was that Java is not a redundant language. Very frankly, in terms of the growth and everything, Python has been one of the biggest movers in the industry. But if you would still see the current industry size and where current programming languages are being used, Java obviously scores above Python in that regard. But coming to the core reason why Java was used, guys, was just purely, and I've given this example multiple times, Java is sort of a superset for all languages. So one of the first early functional languages after obviously the Fortrans and C, C++ of the world was Java. It had the concept of object-oriented, you could call functions and all that. Then rest of the languages came as a derivative to it, optimizing on certain, what should I say, lags that Java had. But Java being Java, because they iterated over versions on versions, I believe we are about to see 10 hit the market real soon, version 10, which is why Java continues to be the language of choice. Plus, it's also important to recognize that all new development happens over an old development base, which is why a lot of base and the core technology at heart of biggest tech companies is based in Java. However, we still do not encourage our learners to say, okay, that's all you need to learn. If you know Java, you are set for a good career. Ideally, as a programming language, it is a tool. It is not the end by any chance. It is not a destination. It is a way by which you do programming, which is why I wouldn't say that Java is the best or Python is the best. The reason why we use Java, because it's easy for instruction. There is already a lot of learning material supporting that. That's the reason we went for Java as well. Hope that answers your question. We have Anant asking, how about blockchain for experienced IT professionals who are into project management? Anand, great question actually. So we have actually almost 40% of our batch with more than 8+ years of experience as part of our blockchain program. That clearly shows that there is a great demand for people with heavy experience in IT to learn this new technology. That is primarily because, see, there is a fixed corporate pyramid. As you go further up in your experience and designations, there are fewer and fewer people around you. It is at that time that you really need to shine out in terms of your peers, in terms of your competition, to be worthy of the high packages that your profile demands, and also to be much more in demand across the companies as well. Which is why if you would see a lot of time these IT companies pray focus on digital projects coming in. These digital projects are nothing but just projects based on new emerging technologies like data science, data analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, full stack, web development, or blockchain itself. That is the reason you would need to acquire these skills on a project manager level as well, because only then your management of the project would be impactful. B, if you would see the way the teams work right now, earlier it used to be specialized teams for one sector, specialized teams for B sector. Nowadays, because teams are cohesive, they run on shorter timelines, courtesy Agile and Scrum, you would need to, as a project manager, lead not just in terms of processes, but also in terms of thought and ideas. And I'm not saying you need to think like an architect, but only if you have a practical knowledge of, let's say, a blockchain technology, only then will you be able to lead the project. Moreover, in your conversation with your clients, you'll come across as someone smarter who knows what they are doing exactly, rather than being completely lost and just agreeing to whatever they are saying. So that is one key differentiator which happens at a project manager level, because end of the day, you are the person responsible for the success of the project. We have nice. We have Mudumbai Jayaraman asking, I have no technical background. What are the learnings, trainings I should undertake which will help me in this area? Also, should I have in-depth knowledge of these? So Mudumbai, very frankly, I would encourage you to have in-depth knowledge of at least basic programming, have a good command over basic problem solving. And when I say basic problem solving, like these are the sort of interview questions asked on data structures, algorithms and all. Because guys, only once you have your base and fundamentals in place properly, only then can you tweak them at runtime in order to achieve the desired result, right? Only when you know all the permutation and combination would you know, okay, this one is the best. Like a good example would be for my friends who watch cricket, would be like, as a bowler, you may know in swing, outswing, reverse swing, yorker, bouncer, but knowing what match situation should you throw a particular ball, having that knowledge is what makes you better, which holds true for emerging technology projects like blockchain as well, which is only when you have a good command over your core set of skills, which is here firstly programming and then onwards to blockchain specific stuff. I would actually encourage you to go in depth on that. If you have had no technical background, it is an uphill task. I won't kid you on that. It might take a year plus for you to learn it properly. But trust me when I say this, Mudumbai, that it will give you inorganic returns. It means like it would be in terms of multiple, because it's not just thinking about your next job, but wholly in terms of career, which spans across 2 decades plus. So it is something that you take a strategic call on, that is something I really want to succeed. And even if you do not end up growing in that particular technology, at least you would have the core set of technical thinking that will allow you to move across industries and companies. We have Ashok Kumar Singh. He has 19 plus years of experience in IT with B in electronics and telecommunication from Jadavpur. Should I jump and enjoy the benefits of blockchain? I do have good experience in Java, SQL, JavaScript. Ashok, at that level of experience, as I mentioned, like there is no fixed template. It is not a thing that you would, it's, guys, think of blockchain and upskilling as a gym membership. You can continue to survive without a gym membership, but if you do join in, if you do go regularly, then obviously you have a healthier lifestyle, you look good, you feel smart and everything, which is why I would actually encourage, even though you have got such heavy experience, for you to add to that level of experience with a relevant experience in emerging technology, getting a certification from a leading Indian college. Obviously, you have Jadavpur to count, which is again one of the premier technical universities in the country. I remember this because our dean from IIT Delhi was from Jadavpur and he was a big proponent. So I would actually say that an added certification along with the proper content and learning what blockchain is practically would greatly enhance your profile if you are in the IT sector. If you are right now not in the IT sector, I would say it's not all that relevant for you to learn. But guys, please keep in mind, in technology world, it is a first movers advantage. The biggest companies you see today, Google, Facebook and all, they moved first in their respective fields, which is why once they became a household name, it is very difficult to displace anyone. You have seen the amount of effort it took Geo to displace things like Airtel, Vodafone, that they had to give 80%, 90% discounts to remove them from the market and then establish their own supremacy. In tech, because you cannot just throw money and acquire talent or acquire supremacy, which is where it's even more difficult. Like imagine if a new search engine comes, even if they have a better algo than Google, I don't believe any of us would be so eager to quickly change situations as well. Microsoft have tried their best through Bing in order to displace Google, but in tech, because once you come in first, you establish yourself, it is much easier to succeed. That same holds true for people who are looking to learn. You would have seen people who started off, let's say, as a Java developer a decade back and all. Today, they are leading major tech teams. Similarly, now we saw the rise of data scientists and data teams almost 4 or 5 years back. People who were early into learning those skills have gone on to have amazing careers. Guys, blockchain is the next frontier when we are talking of that. A lot of fad came before that, neural networks, machines who could think, driverless cars and all. But blockchain, when it was started to be adopted by a huge industry like finance, and now healthcare and logistics are also opening up, it allowed people to build significant careers as well. A lot of our peers from major technical institutes are now trying to learn blockchain in a thorough way in order to learn blockchain teams as well, because that is what will add a wow to your resume. We have Dilip asking the difference between Hyperledger Fabric and cryptocurrency. In which one you suggest to learn initially, which is good for our careers? So Dilip, very quickly there, cryptocurrency are primarily based on a public ecosystem. There are two major types of blockchain ecosystems. One is a private one, which is essentially the rest of the viewers do not have access as easily to the individual transaction record. They do know something is happening there, but they don't have exact details. A public one is where everyone is an equal stakeholder in the system, and obviously through certain transactions they increase their value in the system. That is the core reason how cryptocurrencies run as well, which is why if you have a person with a lot of Bitcoin, they have massive amount of mining power, they have got big processing powers and all. If you're looking at a career level, I would actually encourage you to think on the Hyperledger bit. Why do I call it Hyperledger is important? It's primarily because the first movers into the blockchain industry are your business and finance sectors. These sort of companies, obviously, they won't want that. Let's say if Arjun's account is out there in the open on the B2C one, and Dilip comes and says, okay, I know exactly how much money is there in Arjun's account. Which is why, Dilip, you should try and learn Hyperledger, because Indian IT companies have their biggest client base in US banks, European banks, and the finance sector. Almost 60-70%, and I am sure a lot of your experienced IT professionals would agree on this. A lot of projects actually come from these finance companies and all into your companies. So if you have a core set of skills which is immediately relevant to them, it will greatly help, because nowadays companies literally choose the staff they wish to have on their project. Gone are those days when they used to just depend on the company, you tell us who all should be there. They look for people who have got relevant experience, have got experience firstly in that particular technology. So my take there, go for Hyperledger Fabric. Cryptocurrencies are a great conversation starter in a party, but they will never at the current stage not get you a straight away a good career. Asking Mahesh Sunkari says whether syllabus on blockchain taught by UpGrad is enough to get a job in blockchain technology. Great question, Mahesh. So Mahesh, actually the way we position it, that the program in itself is self-sufficient to get you a job in the blockchain industry. But here comes the interesting part. Because particularly when it comes to learning something technical, it has a major element of practice. It has a major pain point in building relevant projects and all. So obviously, let's say through the IIIT-Banglore and UpGrad program, you would actually get to create two major blockchain projects which would be done under the guidance of an industry mentor. So you would be able to create all that along with your other peers in the program. However, if you are learning from other sources, which we actually point out to you during the part of the program, you get that extra level of advantage, you get that extra level of practice, which is mighty helpful when you go for recruitment processes, when you talk to companies about your profile, when you talk to your peers, when you create a portfolio or CV of your own. That is where additional practice actually helps. So if you are looking to learn blockchain, the program is sufficient. If you're looking for a great career, we actually encourage you to go over and above as well. You would remember the toppers in your class, they didn't just depend on the NCERT book. They depended on doing solved question papers, previous year question papers, refreshers, tuition. So gaining that extra advantage is up to the student as well. We have Srinivas we have Ashish asking, he's an Android developer from the past 6 months. Will it be good to join this course? So Ashish, as I mentioned earlier, there is actually, like, it's not a club or a bar where only select people can. What you need to take on a personal level is whether it's a good decision for you. As the things are standing currently, Android developer profile is also a very much renowned one, particularly with the growth of React Native technology and all. However, your keenness is to work on, cutting edge new products, new projects, make your profile somewhat much more different to your peers. I would actually encourage you getting the blockchain knowledge and topics in your CV as well. Speaking in terms of whether you can learn it, see, as a developer, guys, like it or not, whether, as I mentioned earlier, I'll just need to refer the name. We had, we had Sahil saying that he had experience in SQL. Guys, mostly important what programming does to you, it adds a level of logical thinking and structure in your everyday work. That is the amount that is needed for you to succeed. And obviously then it's practice. So if you have Android development experience, very frankly, it's not a ready fit for blockchain if you were to ask me. But considering your background in programming and technology, I would heavily recommend the blockchain course for you to really stand apart from your peers. Because Android development, though big in the industry, it is a career in itself. But if you feel slightly, being what should I say, plateauing or not enough growth opportunities, blockchain is perhaps where you should. And particularly, I would like to believe you are still in the early stages of your career. Blockchain makes a lot of sense for you to go in that regard. Pratyush Kumar is saying, is blockchain good for someone who's not that good in programming? Pratyush, very frankly, be told, I would actually not recommend them the blockchain thing, because one of the core principles, particularly at a younger level, at a what should I say, a developer or a system engineer level, it is actually needs a good bit of programming and thinking logic in order to succeed at blockchain. Because at that experience level, you can't be a project manager, you can't be a consultant. Those senior professionals with their experience, if they do not have, the core technical knowledge, they can still somehow pass it. If they know the major jargon, if they know how the system interacts, obviously they won't make for great careers, but at least they would have something to talk to the client, present internally to the team and all. But as an end resource who's actually creating practical stuff, if you are not good at programming and you actually want to make a good career in tech, firstly, I would encourage you to improve your programming skills. If you do not like it, it's fine. There are millions like you, but find your true calling, find your true where you really want to do something. Like education was where I wanted to do something now, be it through technical skills or non-technical skills. I just wanted to be part of that journey. So it's important for you to decide where you want to be and then put all your efforts learning the same. But if you are saying that no, programming is not really my cup of tea, is blockchain really up my alley, I would say it will be a really, real tough struggle for you. We have Srinivas Reddy saying he's a C++ developer with 12 years of experience. He does not want only academics, but wants to get into actual industry. So Srinivas, generally what happens is at that senior level, as I was mentioning earlier, a lot of time it's not inter-company switch, but more intra-company switch as well. Because you would yourself be seeing, Srinivas, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that companies actually train internally a lot of their resources so that once they go on these sort of projects, they train the top quality students, top quality employees as well on the same. Now, for you to stand out at that level, obviously you have your prior experience of C, C++, but you may be feeling that, okay, like in my interaction with industry experts, C, C++ projects are slightly on the downhill ride as well. So if you are looking to learn that extra bit, and considering there are blockchain projects coming into your company, it is a matter of time before they start getting a major chunk of their revenues there. You should try learning it, because again, as I said, your development experience would be the first and foremost skill for you to gain and work on. And after that, obviously, it is just a matter of creating a relevant portfolio, which will come through creating more projects and all. And at that level of experience, it will really help you stand out from other developers and also actually pave a path for an architect career for you. Because see, not a lot of talent in IT right now is capable of imagining a blockchain system, let alone knowing the terms like imagining a blockchain system. And plus, because it's a really fluid thing, because no one can say that, okay guys, this is the way a blockchain system is made and that's it. So which is why as an architect or a developer, you need to be on the run, questioning everything, knowing the details, and only then can you drive the solution in a particular way. We have Ranjita Dora saying that he's currently working as a blockchain integrator team, but wants to be a blockchain developer for building applications. Will the PG program be helpful, and when will be the next session? So Ranjita, that's great to hear from a person who's actually right now connected with the blockchain world. The term blockchain integrator doesn't sound like it has a lot of blockchain specific stuff to go on. I believe it's a general tech framework you have ready, and please correct me if I'm wrong, wherein codes through blockchain and all the modalities of blockchain are now being integrated, which is why I would actually, if you have relevant development experience, or if you are keen to learn development and you know what it takes, I would actually encourage you to get on our 11-month PGP program, because that takes you on a ride on learning development the right way. Like the approach there is firstly focusing on the basics and getting the problem solving and the ordered thinking in place, which we do through both the IIIT Bangalore professors as well as a lot of industry experts like people working in Zomato, IBM and all. Then we come to the part where you make like scalable backend systems, because see, all blockchain systems are flawed if their backend is not in a proper place. End of the day, blockchain was actually a backend solution. It wasn't a front end facing. Like if a website is using blockchain, it won't look more beautiful, guys, right? But its functionalities will be prime and proper in place. So for you to get that, Ranjita, I would actually encourage you, rather than taking everyone through the core details of the program, I would actually ask you to get in touch with our admissions team at blockchain@upgrad.com, and they would be happy to provide you the brochure and more details on the program as well. We have Ashish Pratap asking, why is the fees so high of the upgrad courses? There are free courses provided by IITs via NPTEL portal. Can't we just go through that course and somehow practice ourselves? So Ashish, in your question itself, there are so many somehow, if we can. So very frankly, what we felt was, Ashish, that there was a lot of content, right? Technically, if you go onto the webs, any internet world today, there is maximum content on learning how to be a better programming or how to be a better developer. But guys, please keep in note, Ashish, that actual learning happens through a proper structure. What happens is when a person is going out alone, they don't know what structure to follow. B, the rigor is also missing, because there is no reason for the person to be rigorous themselves. Obviously, there are a few dedicated and devoted folks who do actually go out and get it for themselves. Like I was there when the whole IIT programs were short to be put out on NPTEL. They used to literally record the lectures we were having in the class at the time, and they were put up on the portal as well. But hardly anywhere you would have read of news reports and all saying that quality of engineers in the country has improved, or unemployability is on the downside. The sole reason is that for proper learning and practical learning, because companies aren't looking that you can just come and talk of the topics and immediately offer you a CTC hike or anything. You need to actually go out and create something, which is why we address this through multiple things. A, knowledge. B, practice. C, creating actually something practical. D, getting you prepared with the industry through mock interviews, industry connects and all. So all that is obviously there, which obviously a typical IIT online program through NPTEL lacks. But if you are dedicated and devoted, I would actually recommend you that. But it again will lack proper structure and all for you to, go ahead and succeed as well. That's the reason why educational institutes till date have not been substituted, right? No one is saying, no, I won't go to an IIT, or I won't go to a triple IIT, or I won't go to a Harvard or an MIT, right? The value of proper rigorous thinking from top universities definitely is. That is the reason why these online programs by premium institutes will actually hamper the enrollment numbers for the tier 3 colleges, tier 4 colleges, because people are realizing gradually that A, it's not a game changer in career. B, you do not learn something. Obviously, the life experience you have is awesome. You have friends, you have the college life and all. That sadly, online will find it very difficult to fill. But if you are learning for something of betterment of your career, for learning something in depth, then perhaps even an online program would be much more helpful. We have Mukesh asking that he's an M.Tech student of avionics and has basic knowledge of programming and problem solving. Does blockchain technology have any application in aircraft communication, especially in the field of ADS-B? Mukesh, really awesome question. I wish I had half idea of current blockchain application in avionics. I would love to know, where are you doing your M.Tech program from, because this seems like a really specialized course. I would imagine it to be in one of the IITs, if not. But technically, like obviously we keep on going through blockchain experts and all, have not learned of a direct application of blockchain in avionics. However, obviously I would encourage you to read up on net, which I myself will do post this session. But as of now, interacting with our industry experts, with our faculty and all, I do not know of any direct application of blockchain in the field of avionics. Really specific question. I wish I would have been able to help, but yeah. We have Ravi Kiran asking, is it good for identity and access management professional to take blockchain training? So Ravi, what I would like to know and pose a counter question to you, that in your current profile as an identity and access management professional, I would ideally want to imagine you are more like a system admin. Is that right? Like you are in charge of ensuring that proper logins are given to proper people and they have the proper viewing rights of the project. Certain people will be logged out and all. Is that it? Then that changes the context of our interaction. If it's already something that you are creating, let's say you are creating portals for access management and all, then you are much more relevant, because you're out there creating actual projects as well. And obviously blockchain speaking primarily in the terms of privacy, trust and faith, which is where integration of this would be massive. But obviously it holds true when there are a lot of what should I say, people involved in that, right? You do not want to create a blockchain system if there are only 3 people on your access management. So blockchain, yes, it does help with access management, but over a large number only. We have Harshal Narayan asking that I can't help being apprehensive about blockchain being a very new tech. Won't rapid changes in the ecosystem make it a risky choice as far as next 5 years are considered? Harshal, great question actually, and that was one of the most primary concerns we had in our mind when creating the program. But since then the industry has proved us wrong, I would actually encourage you to think of a technology which had seen billions and billions of dollars of investment and actual practical projects being created before data science and now blockchain. Right, there were a lot of things like machine learning, neural network and all. So machine learning obviously took off. Neural network, this is the part where machines like try and, like in the simplest term, neural means coming from nerves. So machines and code trying to mimic a brain or trying to think of patterns in that regard, it hasn't taken off in the same regard. Industry has not been as keen to take up. Obviously we keep on reading articles of how humans are being beaten at chess, and how now robots can play football or can cook and all. But it's really important to see that blockchain, A, It's a very adjacent jump. It is not a very dramatic or very difficult for someone to imagine blockchain being used for practical stuff. B, you have big institutes investing heavily in creating this system. So I'm not talking about cryptocurrencies. I'm talking about firms like SBI, like Barclays, like IBM, actually getting talent in place. You won't find a lot of neural network specialist jobs out there on Naukri. You won't find a lot of, I'm just trying to think of folks with flashy. These sort of technologies, though they sound very fancy, but the industrial application is limited. But here, because it actually blockchain arose out of an industry need. So it isn't as if a concept which was put on the industry, but industry's need of a secure spread across different stakeholders brought it into the industry. That's why blockchain is one of the most upcoming technologies. And speaking in terms of 5 years, what will happen gradually is that you would also be seeing technology is actually connecting everything together. So nowadays, you do not have standalone big data projects. You have big data projects, then it has an analytics layer to it. You have a data science project, it has a level of web development build because you would want a web app to it. Then you have a blockchain system, it would have certain analytics and machine learning tools built on top of it. So that is what is going to happen. So rather than, independent technologies arising, it is time for consolidation, which is pretty much how the business world also operates, interestingly. So here also in tech, you would see a lot of things coming together, right? Earlier, it used to be this person is a back-end specialist, he's a front-end specialist. Now also you are seeing tech teams coming together, and that is what awaits as well. So this knowledge is not going to hold you back. We aren't teaching. That's the reason, instead of teaching you a fad, something like we'll teach you Bitcoin or we'll teach you a cryptocurrency, we taught you a core concept which is implementable across not just one industry, but across many industries as well. Hopefully that answers your question. And very frankly, I'm not the only one harping the advantages of blockchain. People, as we speak, are switching their careers onto major CTC hikes, great companies, great profiles, because here you won't be getting on a regular project running for the past 12 years. You would be responsible for setting the initial team. You would be responsible for setting the initial solution, which will obviously go through multiple iterations over time. We have, wow, a lot of questions. Sanjeev Shekhar asking, does blockchain have any application in the field of HR? Sanjeev, not that I know of, very frankly. Interesting. You'll need to give us time to get back on that. Nothing comes to top of mind of how blockchain can be integrated into the life of an HR at the moment. Mukesh is asking, he's pursuing M.Tech from Amity in Noida. I told you it had to be a good college. So that is the reason, Mukesh. I wish we had a blockchain application in avionics from the top of mind. Similar to Sanjeev's question on application in HR, the application in avionics also beats me at the moment. Yes, Sanjeev Shekhar saying, what about the application of blockchain in the field of development aid given for development countries? Is there an application in the field of HR? That's a great question, Sanjeev. So guys, just paraphrasing Sanjeev's question, making it easier for everyone to understand. What he meant was that a lot of time what happens is UN pledges that, okay, we are giving 700 crores to the state of Kerala for flood relief. Then no one has any idea where it's gone, which party was it given to, bills are tampered with, it goes into corruption. I can go on and on. Now, blockchain, what it does is, because it makes the party and the donor and everyone an equal party, you have visibility of the fund, where is it going, how's it going, how's it being dispersed. So that is one true case. But again, Sanjeev, the problem there is it would need certain amount of development to happen, and obviously development economics is not something where tech is like really being largely integrated. It sounds like a really sane view of using blockchain to actually drive practical stuff out there, but again, out of our limited experience, we do not know of such cases at present. We have Lakshman asking that, in what ways are blockchains used in real time? Well, technically, Lakshman, blockchain would be quite defeated in its purpose if it wasn't for real time, right? The whole idea is to nip the inconsistencies, to allow parallel updation of records and everything, which is why blockchains work best. So like, even though a bad example, but cryptocurrencies being based on blockchain, you would see why are they so volatile. The whole idea is everyone knows in the system where certain transactions are happening or limited, particularly people who are admin in that particular system, which is why it happening in real time is one of the key ingredient, which is why through the program as a reference, why we teach you to build scalable and robust backend systems. Because if your backend system is even delayed by a few milliseconds, it could result in a wrong updation of records for a particular party and a different set of records for a different party. Which is why I mentioned that backend development is one of the key ingredients to creating robust and strong blockchain systems as well. Cool. We have Mahesh asking, what are some of the companies recruiting for blockchain profile through UpGrad so far? So Mahesh, the initial few companies that we have lined up, like being a 6-month and 11-month program, obviously it is a work in progress. But the initial few set of companies who have expressed interest at hiring from through our IIIT-Banglore and UpGrad are primarily IBM. Then we have companies like Infosys and TCS who have expressed hiring intent for their technical divisions. Then we have the small time blockchain startups. These are companies who act as a service provider on blockchain solutions. So there we have large companies like Squadex. Then we have CoinHop with us. Then we have CoinGape as well. So these small startups spawning primarily, obviously you guessed it right, in Bangalore and Hyderabad, because they are looking to build strong teams with relevant blockchain talent. These are the sort of companies. So you are seeing different market size of companies coming. We are actually in touch with companies in Barclays as well, where they are looking to create a special blockchain division. PwC just recently told that they need a demand of 1,000 professionals upskilled in recent technologies like blockchain and artificial intelligence. So you are seeing more and more industries are ready to commit billions of dollars in for this talent, and that is the sort of companies which we are looking to open up. As of now, it's your big ticket companies like IBM, TCS, Wipro, Infosys, and then obviously we have the blockchain startups as well. Cool. Then we have Harshal Narayan saying he's already part of the UpGrad full stack program where he needs to choose the specialization. What parameters should he consider to finally judge between full stack, web, and blockchain for myself? So great question, Harshal, and great to interact with you as well. So Harshal, what we have here is that it is again a very person dependent program. As I mentioned that it is not, there is no one time solution for anyone out there that if you do this program, it will take you to places this won't. Ideally, it depends on your choice and all. If you have a strong base in web development, if creating great websites and all is something, if you want to open jobs in Mintras, Jabongs, Zomatos of the world, then full stack is something which is much more closely aligned to your dreams or your career path as well. If, however, on the other part, you want to really work on newer set of technologies, you want to go into big ticket companies, you want to be part of their digital division, you want to be part of companies which have got like lakh plus employees, then blockchain is something which would be very interesting for you as well. Again, it holds tremendous potential, but then it becomes also the responsibility of an individual to build a career in there, right? It is not a given that, okay, just because you know blockchain, you're set for an awesome career. As a person in individual, you need to do a good job at it, right? Which is why we know companies who started doing, let's say, digital marketing initially very well, right? Those companies created a niche for themselves and did well. Zomato started restaurant services online over phone. Today, it's the one of the biggest players in the city as well. So that is something you really need to keep in mind. If you want to take a pot at something that you really want to scale going ahead, then blockchain is the path for you. If you want to see a good, stable, powerful path, full stack developers meanwhile are earning almost 50-60% higher than regular developers, then full stack is something of a track that will be mighty helpful for you, Arjun. Guys, any more questions? Happy to take those up as well. I'm just trying to see if we have something else. Please keep those questions coming in. That keeps the whole info session fun for everyone involved as well. I have tons of numbers, but I believe you already get the bigger picture that companies are increasingly pushing themselves onto creating blockchain ecosystems. There's no stranger to it, despite doubts that RBI has banned cryptocurrencies. Guys, as I mentioned, cryptocurrencies are a very small subset of blockchain development. There are actual solutions being created. As I mentioned, companies can save almost 20-30% of their revenues. So this is straight away a profit for them, right? Because money saved is money earned. So it's not as if it is resulting in salary increase or anything. So moment you start implementing these solutions, it is a straight away and growth in 5-10% profit margin, which is tremendous for these companies because they are operating on hundreds of millions of dollars margin. Which is why focusing on creating even one robust blockchain ecosystem solution could end up helping them save up for the next quarter, can help save thousands of jobs, can give them a clear cut advantage over competitors, which is why a better tech talent is critical. I'll tell you a fun story of why Google is Google today. They were the first company actually in Silicon Valley to provide things like washing machine and kitchen services to their employees. At that time, people used to laugh at them that why are you doing these silly things for your employees? Just keep it as an office, just have coffee, and that's the end of things. Google said this will allow me to attract the best people in the industry because people don't have time to do their own laundry. People do not know how to commute from office, so I'll provide them transportation and all. Google was critical in getting a good set of tech talent initially, and then they continued to build on top of it, which is what companies are now trying to do with almost any new emerging technology talent, which is why you see crazy amounts of money being thrown at people who are well versed with emerging technology, but then it becomes the individual's responsibility to do a good job at it, right? You would have seen Uber shutting or rather deprioritizing its self-driving efforts and all, because it was not something which was coming out to be really practical. So yes, there are cases of huge emerging technologies not coming out the way we want, but blockchain is way past that experimentation stage as well, friends. That is the reason why we have such a robust PG program in blockchain. We have two variations broadly, just for everyone's reference. We have the 11-month blockchain program, which consists of firstly learning good programming skills and then the blockchain relevant part. Then we have the 6-month blockchain technology certification program, wherein you go through the details of Solidity, how to create Hyperledger Fabric. Then you actually have practical projects on creating an actual B2B blockchain ecosystem through the program. And all this while you are mentored by startup founders on blockchain stuff, senior architects from IBM. So that is the whole system when it comes together, which results in jobs as well. Cool, guys. The last 10 minutes of the program. Oh, wow. We have Gurjeet asking us 4 years of experience in Android, but wants to increase his capabilities and efficiency in programming world by joining the full stack program. Do you think it will be helpful? Well, Gurjeet, very frankly, it's a smart choice because like it will be an adjacent jump, because full stack developers obviously are key to creating web solutions, and being an Android developer currently, it is something of a space that you are already in. However, for you, the key aspect would be that Android development is largely constructed by the number and choice of tools as well, right? On your end, perhaps you could try learning React Native. It will give you a value add and an advantage, but obviously not in like multiple advantages, right? So working as a full stack, because you have good experience, that's the advantage actually developers hold, that they get to see the front end part as well and the back end part as well. The full stack program will go a long way as well. And just as a reference, we have the scholarship initiative live both for our blockchain program as well as the full stack program, wherein if your profile is shortlisted by our admissions team, you get a 75,000 rupee scholarship. And I believe Harshal can also vouch for the fact that he would have come to be known through the program as well. So that is something that you can apply to right now. We really want to push the initial set of learners to experience the learning product, go out there into the industry and be a great ambassador for the program. You would have seen that is exactly how education institutes grow, by essentially ensuring that the initial set of students, and even though we are hardly 300-400 learners in, you are still the part of the initial pool that we want to put out in the industry as a shining example of what professional education online can make to the industry on a whole. Cool, guys. We have Ravi asking how many projects will there be in the program. So Ravi, as part of our 11-month offering on blockchain, we actually have 4 projects in total. Okay, this is over and above almost 17 assignments you have. So assignments are somewhat shorter coding projects, while project is something which we actually ensure you do it in teams, similar to how the industry works. then that is what awaits you. You create actual practical blockchain solution, actual practical software solutions that have been sourced from companies like IBM, Zomato, and Swiggy. You get mentored by an existing developer in the industry. So if it's a software solution, then it would be, let's say, an InMobi developer guiding you. Or if it's a blockchain system, then you would have someone from squad role helping you understand how to go ahead and get that. So you get relevant mentorship through the project as well, to ensure you learn the most important bit, which is not just creating the solution, because this is, guys, not a regular college program where you are just trying to spend time to do the assignment. It is about learning that core set of skills which is really going to do it for you. So that is why we give you a practical taste of the entire experience as well. Hopefully, Ravi, that answers for you. We are just waiting for the last set of questions, guys. The last 10 minutes. I understand it being a Tuesday, still early in the week. A lot of you would be working from office or would be en route to home. I would actually encourage you to just show this to your friends, understand better, because, guys, I may not be the most boisterous and energetic person out there, but trust me, blockchain is actually changing careers. And like, career is not a thing to be played with, and because you only get one good shot at it, it's really important you invest it well. Like, there are multiple things and investment we spend money in. Should I take this policy, should I buy that insurance? But spending on yourself has got multiple advantages, because education and learning will stay on through you. Let's say, even if you learn blockchain, may not be immediately relevant in your next project, but once you go out to your next company, you can show you have a set of knowledge which very few people in the industry have, and B, that will allow you to put yourself at a salary level which will be much more drastically different to your peers as well. Cool. We have no more question, guys. No worries. We, as a quick reminder, I would like to remind, we have the application links in the description itself for all those friends who have not applied to the program. Please do apply now. We are closing admissions end of next month, to ensure that the new year starts with a bang, with a new project as well for you in learning blockchain or learning full stack. We have the 75,000 rupee young technocrat scholarship active for all you youngsters out there. For details, obviously ask your admissions professional. For any queries you might have on the program, please do write to blockchain@upgrad.com, or write into IIIT-Banglore directly at admissions-pgpsd@iitb.ac.in. So guys, please feel free to go out there, ask as many questions as you want. It's your career at stake end of the day, and there are almost 100+ professionals who have actually made the jump to blockchain already through the program. I would encourage you to become one of them as well. Cool, guys, that is it from me. Good night, and have a great week. We'll be keep on having these sessions. Next time I will be joined by an industry expert, as expert full stack developer. We will keep on having recurring sessions on blockchain as well. I'll be joined by someone from Bangalore. We are just trying to finalize the person. And thank you so much for your time, and wish you all the best for your careers. Bye bye.